Hi,
Hello.
Milind.
Visible
Hi. Can you hear me?
perfectly.
Yeah,
Oh, lovely. Aditya and Shriya.
Howdy.
So, are we going to be chatting? What's the format?
yeah. So I'll quickly be introducing you both to our audience, and then Aditya will be chatting with you. We have some questions already from the audience, and we'll be taking questions during the conversation as well.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready
So
to start?
yeah, Yeah, so I'll be starting now. Hello everyone. Hello folks who have joined us on our LinkedIn Live as well. So I'm Shriya from Pazcare. Welcome to our exclusive conversation with Milind. A small introduction about Milind. Milind is known in the film world. He has a name in the modeling world, but above all, he is known for his fitness mindset. With the present trends of fitness, going to the gym, weightlifting, and different kinds of diets, Milind is on a completely different fitness journey, a journey that connects the mind to the body. And Greenlight 4.0 initiative is very much a part of that. Welcome, Milind. We can't wait for you to share your fitness journey with all of us to get inspired and create a fitness journey like yours. Leading the conversation with Milind, we have Aditya Malik, SVP at Pazcare. Before quickly handing over it to Aditya, a very quick request to the audience. You can type in your questions in the chat box, and our volunteers will try to get it addressed towards the end of the conversation. Aditya, you can take it over from here.
Thank you, Shreya. Hey, Milind. I'm so excited to be speaking with you. I've been a great fan. You've been a role model for us, as we've been growing up. Um, Milind, but also at Pazcare, we're kind of supporting almost 1 lakh employees and, 5 lakh family members of theirs in managing their health and wellness. So we're very, very excited to hear from you, in some sustainable ways of managing health and wellness that could benefit this really large audience there as well. So if I may, maybe you could start at the start and just tell us what were some of your early experiences, or where did the fitness journey really start for you?
Um, well, I've always been fit since I was very, very young. I started swimming at the national level at the age of 9. And I swam at the national level and I was national champion. I've represented India in swimming till the age of 23. So obviously, my entire growing period, from 9 to 23, was focused on swimming. I won't say it was focused on fitness, but of course, the byproduct of that was that I became very, very fit. I used to swim about 65 kilometers a week by the time I finished. And that's quite a lot. I don't even run that much today. And swimming fast is tough. So that was one advantage I had. Of course, I never thought of it as fitness. Nobody talked about fitness at that time. Nobody spoke about health. Those were very alien concepts. I mean, I was a sports person and I was focused on sport. My goal was to win. So every workout session, every training session I had was focused on improving by that 0.1 second. That I had to win the national championships that year. I had to qualify for the international competitions that year. That was the complete focus. So the byproduct of that, of course, I became not only physically very fit, but also mentally very fit, because I was able to, if you understand what mental fitness is the ability to use your mind to achieve what you want.
Right.
You know, in fact, use your mind to direct your body. It's not that the body does has its own consciousness about how it functions, and it can function really well if it is directed really well. So direction, of course, comes from the mind. And when you're in competitive sport, and like I said, I was lucky to be there. You learn that at a very early age, and you learn that because you have a purpose to learn it. The reason
Interesting.
why people don't are not fit today, or they can't be motivated to be fit, is they don't know the purpose for why they're being fit or they want to be fit. There is no focus. There's no reason that is emotional, that speaks to them emotionally. So for me, it was easy. And
Yeah.
even though I didn't do any kind of gymming or diet or anything after I stopped swimming at 23, till I started running at the age of 37, that's almost 15 years, it really had no impact at all on my health and fitness, because I did so much when I was young. In fact,
Milind, secondly,
one of my
yeah.
greatest achievements, I would say, is that
Mhm.
my weight has been the same from the age of 19 till now I'm 59.
Wow.
You
That's
know,
commendable.
so that is,
Yeah.
even people might say it is marathons, and I've done Ironman and I've done Ultraman and I've run from Delhi to Bombay, and those are amazing achievements. But I think one of my biggest achievements is my weight has been constant for the last 40 years. You know,
Milind,
so
based on
if you
what you
would
said,
say talk about the journey of being fit, it is just a
yeah,
perception. I didn't know what it was called earlier. Now I know what it's called. So I can say, okay, this is fitness. And I think about what is my idea of fitness. And my idea of fitness is just my ability to enjoy life in the most positive way, and to enjoy everything that life has to offer. And not to be able to think, oh, can I do this? Can I not? Can I do that? Would I be able to? I don't need to think about those things.
got it. If I could take a small piece of what you said, Milind, you said you started off with very clear goals, which were winning in a competitive sport, right? But then some of those habits have kind of stayed with you. What do you think about sort of staying motivated, beyond
Well,
school or
I won't
early
say, sorry to
adulthood?
interrupt you, I won't say the habits have stayed with me.
Okay,
But what has stayed with me is the understanding of how to achieve what I want.
got it, got it.
So
So,
a lot of
what
people have
advice
this
do
issue
you,
of being able to prioritize and being able to
right?
choose. They don't know how to do it, how to prioritize things, because we think there are so many choices. I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do 10 other things. How do I prioritize the most important thing, even though it might be my health? How do I do it? They don't know.
Got it. And where I was going was like any suggestions to your typical working professionals. What is a good way of kind of keeping yourself motivated to care about fitness, or as you said, prioritization? Is there any sort of tricks to it, or any framing of it that you think has been a good way of thinking that we could others could learn from?
There is no trick, Aditya. Either you care or you don't care. Either you want to be healthy or you don't want to be healthy. Either you have a reason to be fit or you don't have that reason to be fit. You want to run a marathon. So you must understand the difference between health and fitness. Health, it means your ability, the ability of your body and your mind to function the way it is designed. If your body is functioning the way it is designed, that means you're healthy. Your heart is functioning the way it is designed, your heart is healthy. Your digestive system is functioning the way it is meant to, it's healthy. Your immune system. So that is the meaning of health. Mentally, it's the same thing. If your mind is functioning the way it is meant to function, that means your
Yeah,
mind is healthy. If it is supposed to be positive, it is supposed to be able to find solutions to problems, it's supposed to find a way to make you a better person, to improve, to reach your goal. If your mind is able to do that, it means your mind is healthy. Now what happens is a lot of us have different strengths and weaknesses, right?
hmm,
Many of us, I have my own strengths and weaknesses, you have your own strengths and weaknesses, we all do, mentally, physically, emotionally. We need to identify those weaknesses. Once you identify the weaknesses, you work on them. So that could be the beginning, where you begin to figure out what is keeping me back, or what is keeping me from being happy, what is keeping me from being content inside, not the outside. Outside world is against you anyway. Outside world is not for you, it is against you. Life is tough, but within you, what is stopping you? Those are the things you
okay,
need to think about. So the first step towards health and fitness is self awareness. What is it
interesting.
physically in me that is weak? What is it in me mentally that is weak? Do I get angry too quickly? For example, do I get
Yeah.
frustrated really quickly? For example, am I able to find joy in small things? For example, that's a strength. So these are the things that we need to figure out first. And then when we figure them out, we need to work on the weaknesses so that the weaknesses don't pull you down. And once you work on the weaknesses, you can maintain a level of health and fitness, right? Or you can become fitter if you want. Like, what is the meaning of fitness? We discussed the meaning of health. The meaning of fitness, like I said, is your ability to enjoy life. And that has different levels. Can you climb a mountain? Maybe not, but you want to be fit enough to climb a mountain. Some people feel they're not fit enough to have children. When it comes to conventional things like that, they say, no, we don't think we can manage. But if you want to, then you can develop that fitness. Now, you may
Fantastic.
not want to climb a Yeah, you may not want to climb a mountain. So you don't need to develop that fitness. You want to climb a hill. Okay. You keep the fitness to climb the hill. You don't want to run a marathon, which is 42 kilometers, but you want to be able to run at least 10. Develop the fitness to run 10. So that is how you can assume different levels of fitness.
Understood. I think there's some couple of really great insights for me, and very rightly pointed out. It's both are intrinsic, kind of framing what fitness means, and also starting with awareness of what are the weaknesses that are holding me back from achieving it. Are great starting
Yes.
points for beginners. That's great. Um, but if I were to ask your help in translating that in a little sense to also to sort of practical guidelines that may help someone, I've seen a couple of your interviews in, I think it was the Economic Times, where you've spoken about like not needing the gym but common sense. That kind of really stuck with me as a quote. And you've talked about doing a little bit every day, and any guidance you can provide,
Yeah.
like working professionals, on what's a good way of calibrating it, because some people go all out saying I have a 50-kilometer marathon thing and I'll invest so many hours a week and they have the mental fortitude to do that. But what's a good way of
Right.
setting aside time? Anything you've experienced is a good guideline which people can follow, or the right way to think about it.
Well, the easiest way, of course, is to have a goal.
Right.
But also goals need to come from self-awareness. Like, are you going to be able to achieve this goal, or are you just setting an unachievable goal? That also happens sometimes. And the easiest way then to do that is to look for a small goal and then to increase the size of your goals as you achieve each one. What happens after you achieve a particular goal? There is an increase also in self awareness. How did you achieve it? What you felt like when you achieved it? What did it take from you to achieve it? And now, how, because of this awareness you have, can you set your next goal? Was there something you need to work on before you set your next goal? Because maybe you failed at the first goal. So, failure again is a lesson. It's a positive
Right.
lesson. It's not a negative lesson. It is a positive lesson to understand again your level. Maybe you went too fast. Maybe you went
Correct.
too quickly. Maybe there were some things you needed to learn so that you can achieve it. And now you learn those things and then you do achieve it. A lot of people try to do the marathon and they don't succeed at the first time. Then they say, okay, I should have done this and then I will succeed. And they do that and they do succeed. Some people fail 3 or 4 times, maybe 10 times, but they keep learning new things and they say, okay, this is why I couldn't do it. I will add this, I will learn this, and then eventually they do succeed. But I think the success is in self awareness. The success is not actually in the goal. The success is in self awareness, to understand your body, your mind, and your place in the universe. And that is for me the key to happiness. Apart from running and this and that, what do each of us want? Why do we work? Why do we have a job? We want to make money, we want to get married, we want to have kids, but what is the overarching reason. We all want to have a happy life. So also it is important to understand what happiness means. But when you set these goals and you increase your level of self-awareness, you begin to understand what happiness means to you. And then you can chase it if you wish more easily. You can be in
Wonderful.
pursuit of that more easily. Because everything good is always a pursuit. It's never reaching there.
Understood. Now that's interesting, and I think a valuable lesson I'm personally taking back. I think it will apply for many others, which is start small, be self-aware, start seeing how what you're doing is linking up to your definition of happiness. Also, start learning about yourself and kind of build from there. I think it's actually very sound, practical advice for folks to maybe set aside
Yes,
maybe just 10, 15
absolutely.
minutes to start with, but be mindful
And I'll just tell
about
you
that.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just tell you another thing. I personally, I've never been to the gym. Right? In case people look at me and they say, "Oh, this is Milind Soman, he's very fit." And about 10 years ago, people used to say, "Oh, he's not even married, doesn't even have a wife, so it's very easy for him. He's a model, he can do it." But the thing is, I'm very lazy, like most people.
Okay.
I have never been to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I don't diet. But because of the awareness that I've built over the years, I know exactly what exercise I must do as I age, especially because as you age, your weaknesses are emphasized, right? So I work out at home or wherever I am for about 10 minutes every day. And
Okay.
people consider me super fit, but I don't spend hours on it, just a few minutes. And
Wow.
the understanding of what I need to do in those few minutes has come from self awareness that I have gathered over the years, as I've just explained to you.
It's very interesting. You've touched upon nutrition as you spoke about it. I think that's a big concern for a lot of folks today, both in terms of kind
Yeah.
of protecting yourself from the wrong kind of nutrition, but also choosing sort of how to plan your nutrition well. And any advice you would have on maybe your personal experience? How do you approach nutrition? How does it support your lifestyle? How does this self-awareness practically translate into choices you're able to make about nutrition?
See, nutrition, I think, is a very simple thing. I know it sounds complicated. It has become extremely complicated. And this, I think, only in the last 10 years or so, that you need this much of this and you need that much of that. And if you don't have it, you're going to suffer. I mean, we've been here for more than 2 million years. We didn't have this information, but we survived and we took over the entire planet. you know so there are certain things that we need to consider in terms of pollution that we have created. The pollution is in the air, it's in the water, it's in the food that we eat. So we need to
Yeah.
try to avoid that pollution as much as we can. Now when it comes to air, it's difficult because air is everywhere, and if you're living in a city that has a lot of smog and smoke, there's very little you can do about it. When it comes to water, water is a little bit easier to filter and so on, or even buy, if you can, different kinds of water. Also, if you eat more fruits and vegetables, it takes care of a little bit of your hydration. You eat more fruits, more vegetables. Um, there are a couple of rules that you could follow when it comes to nutrition. And this is
Okay.
not really nutrition per se because it doesn't talk about nutritive aspect of food, but packaged food, what you need to reduce. And people know this. I mean, this is also something that isn't spoken about a lot. That packaged food that contains a lot of preservatives and added sugar and added salt and so on is not the ideal food. It can work in an emergency as an intervention. If fresh food is not available, then maybe you can have packaged food uh, because it's not the optimal nutrition. The second one is food that is processed too much,
Right.
and the third is food that is refined. too much. You know, so some degree of refinement is sometimes necessary. Like for example, if you're eating a banana, you need to peel it. You're refining it. You need to remove the peel because we can't digest the peel. The peel is, in fact, quite nutritious, but human beings can't digest it. So we peel the
Right.
banana and we eat it. But any more, processing than that or refinement than that is not necessary in a banana. So try to keep your food as whole and as natural as possible. That's what I would say. And try to eat as large a variety of food as possible. Now, I know there are lots of diets around today, keto and intermittent fasting, and don't eat this and don't eat that, and paleo and all of this. So, these diets may work for some people, and there's no harm in trying them. But again, when you try something new, it has to come from an idea of self awareness, not just because somebody has told you, or you saw somebody doing it, or you read about it. Try it and observe how you feel. Don't expect something miraculous to happen. If you feel better mentally and physically and emotionally, because food affects all these three states, if you feel better over a period of time, then you can adapt more and more of that particular diet. Do not ever change drastically what you have been doing your whole life, unless it's a medical emergency and you have to do it. But if you're trying something new, try it gradually. Now, this comes with everything in life. You want to do exercise, you try it gradually. Does this exercise work for you? See how it makes you feel. Again, not only just physically, but also mentally, emotionally. Does it make you feel better, more positive? Then you add more and more of that to your lifestyle. That's what I would say.
Got it. Interesting learnings here. I think you're replaying the theme of kind of being very connected to how you feel about it, where you're coming from,
Yes.
and being sort of slow and purposeful about it. That's uh, yeah. Um, then just if I were to take that, take that to the mental health domain, you have referred to it multiple times, and I kind of see the broad theme emerging as you speak about it. But is there something specifically to staying healthy mentally that you have found as practice or ways of incorporating into how we think about both health and fitness that people may be missing? We'd love to hear.
So I think personally that a lot of mental disturbance is caused by a lack of clarity. Unless this is a medical situation, a lot of the confusion we feel sometimes or the negativity is because we are not clear about what we want. So we are saying, okay, the
Mhm.
situation is like this. What can I do? It's very easy to know what to do if you know what you want.
Right.
It doesn't matter what other people want you to do. What do you want to do is the most important thing to know in any situation. What do you want? And when you know that, and there is no harm in sitting with yourself and thinking about what you want. What do you want as an outcome from this situation? And is that outcome possible? And to achieve that outcome now, once you have figured it out, this is the outcome. What do you need to do? And when I'm
Beautifully well
talking
said.
about outcome, it is again
Mhm.
in your head, the outcome in your head. I'm not saying, oh, the outcome I want is a lot of money. Not
Okay.
that.
Then,
The
okay.
outcome in your, yes, the outcome in my head. Where do I want to see myself? Not with money or without money or with success or nothing like that. Where do I want to see myself? I want to see myself happy. Again, I'm coming back to that. Finally, that's where you want to see yourself. Because I know a lot of people with money are not happy. A lot of people that we
Right.
see as successful are not happy. A lot of people that we see as successful have killed themselves. So it's difficult to think that these things will bring you happiness. They may make your life a little more fun.
Right.
They make your life a little more comfortable. But will they make you happy? It's been proven that they don't. So one needs to figure out whatever situation you're in, when I want to come out of this, how am I going to be happy? What will it be? And sometimes you will come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter, I'm going to be happy anyway. So I believe that when you're talking about mental health, unless again, like I said, you have a medical issue, you need to be clear in your mind as to what you want. Like
Correct.
kids, if you see, when I was 18 or 19, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at all. Right? I went to study engineering because my friends went to study engineering. I had the marks. I was not interested in engineering at all. But I came from a very academic background. All four of my grandparents were doctors. My father was a scientist. My mother's a scientist. So I said, okay, maybe I can become an engineer, even though I find it deadly boring. And I studied it. And but by chance, I also got an offer to be a model. But before that, I worked in a hotel. I worked in marketing. I worked in kitchens. I worked in the railways, just to see where I would feel good. And just to let you know, in none of those places I felt good. But I again, by as luck would have it, I was offered a job as a model. I was offered a job as a model. I did not even know that modeling was a profession. It was just out of the blue. Somebody came and offered me a job, and I did the job, and it paid me a lot of money. And I said, "Oh, this is great. This is a lot of money for no work at all." And so that's what happened with me. And but I'll tell you, I was offered the job because I was a swimmer. I had the
Right.
kind of body and the kind of, say, the kind of look that they were looking for. It just didn't just happen. It was again a culmination of years of work. Even though that was not my goal, it was because of the work that I had put in that some people saw me and said, "Wow, this is amazing. This is what we're looking for." You know,
Yeah.
so you never know which opportunities might open if you keep working at yourself
Right.
with the idea that I want to be in this place that where I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be there. That's what a lot of people today are in jobs that they don't enjoy. They don't like
Right.
it, and they have not tried other jobs. They have not tried to learn anything new because then they say, "Okay, we're stuck here. We're stuck," but you're never stuck, and you should not be stuck.
Can
You
always
should
grow
never
from there.
think you're stuck. Yeah, learn new skills, do workshops, see where what could possibly interest you. The world has so many opportunities, and as you open yourself to opportunity, more opportunities will come to you. The more you say you're stuck, you will not be able to see the opportunities.
That was really illuminating, Milind. I mean, if I understand you correctly, you're framing mental health primarily as a problem in identifying what happiness means for you and kind of being able to move towards it
Yes,
and not get distracted
yes,
by a lot of noise and
yes,
closing your mind to the right things. And that
yes,
sounds so simple. That sounds really, really simple to do for everyone.
yes.
Uh,
I mean, I'm sure it's not simple to do, and I'm looking at it in retrospect from the age of 60. But maybe because of the discipline I had as a swimmer, as a sports person, I was able to focus on it more easily. You know, so again, the mental faculty of being able to focus is something that is important that we need to develop. Your ability to focus, your ability to concentrate, your ability to analyze. And the problem is you. It should be interesting for yourself. You should be interesting for yourself. Who am I mean, what do I want? What do I like? These are things that are wonderful to think about. Do I like mountains? Do I like cities? Do I like beaches? You know, these are things
yeah,
that you should think.
to keep coming
Yeah.
back to those. I see the team
Yeah.
pointing out. We would switch to a few questions coming from the audience, Milind, if you
Sure.
may.
Sure.
Aparna from
Sure. No problem.
Ati Motors has sent in a question for you. Aparna from Ati Motors has said, "What keeps you going? How have you maintained your physique for many years?"
So I would say the first thing is what keeps me going is really a love of life. I really, right from an early age, I decided that I want to explore everything that life has to offer. And I have been able to do that. Maybe it's because I decided, you know. And a lot of people think that, oh, I can't. I have a job. I've got children, and I've got a husband or a wife, and I've got parents. And what do I do? I'm stuck, which is what I'm telling you. But I know a lot of other people who have children and have spouses and have old parents and have dogs, and they are living their best lives. How do they do it? So at least
Just
people might look at me and say, "Oh, you're really lucky, and come on, you're good looking, and you're rich, and you're successful, so everything is easy for you." But if you look on the internet today, you will find people who have found alternative lifestyles. And I won't even say alternative. They have found the lifestyle that they wanted to find. They took the decision. They decided that this is what we want to do. You know?
that's kind of really help you stay motivated.
Yeah.
Got it.
So to answer
There's
her question, which I got distracted from, is that I said it earlier. I exercise every day um, for about 10 minutes. I know exactly what I need to do to keep my physique the way it is. And when it comes to food, I eat everything. Again, I would like to stress moderation. People ask me, do you eat biryani? I say, yes, I eat biryani. Do you eat pizza? I eat pizza. Do you eat sweets? I eat sweets, but in moderation. I eat everything. I love sweets. In fact, I have to control the love I have for sweets. I have to control it. And I think everybody has to as well. Maybe not for sweets, but maybe for biryani. If you really love to eat something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. It may be good for you, but nothing is good in excess
Got
except love.
it. Milind, we have a gentleman called Suhas from HFS Research. He's asked a question I think a lot of us face, which is that, once he's in a rhythm, he's able to exercise regularly and running is what he's chosen. But he finds it very difficult to restart after a vacation or a festival when that routine gets broken. Any tips, to overcome this? Have you developed any ways of kind of thinking about this problem?
Just give yourself a kick
Okay.
and get out. Just get out and start. You don't. So maybe what happens sometimes is, and he's a runner, maybe he's a marathon runner, maybe he's a long distance runner, and after a vacation, it's difficult to just think of doing another 20-kilometer run. But you don't need to do 20 kilometers. You can do one, you can do two. The most important thing, enjoy yourself. Do only as much as you enjoy, you know? So the thing with
Yeah.
exercise, of course, it's not immediately enjoyable. It's not. You begin to enjoy it. Like I was talking earlier about diet or exercise, the same thing. Start gradually, learn, learn. And as you learn, you will begin to enjoy the learning. You will begin to enjoy what you begin to know about yourself. Those are surprising things. You'll say, wow. It's like when I started running, I didn't like running.
Mhm.
I started in 2003. The Mumbai Marathon was announced. I did not like running, but I'd heard the story of Philippides, the Greek, who ran from Marathon to Athens to announce the victory of the Greeks over the Persians, and then he died. And
Yeah.
Marathon to Athens is a distance of about 42 kilometers. So I thought that was a very interesting story, and I said I must do the marathon at least once in my life. So when the Mumbai Marathon was announced, I said, okay, even though I hate it, let me do the half. I'll do 21 kilometers. And I started, practicing on a treadmill. And everyone told me, "You're crazy. You're 37 years old. You're an Indian guy. These Americans and these Europeans, they have different genes. They have different food. I mean, look at the weather here. It's hot. You'll have cramps. You'll be dehydrated. You'll just faint. You'll die." And I thought, yeah, I also started thinking, yeah, this is going to be very difficult. But when I actually did it, it was easy. It was so comfortable. And I said, wow, this is amazing. I never thought that at the age of 37, I can just run 21 kilometers so comfortably. And I said, oh, maybe I can do 30. Then I did 30 and I said, oh, maybe I can do 42. And I did 42. I said, maybe I can run from Ahmedabad to Bombay. And I ran from Ahmedabad to Bombay. Then I said, oh, maybe I can run from Delhi to Bombay. And I ran from Delhi to Bombay. So it is only because of self-learning that I was able to think that, oh, I could do this because of this. And maybe I can do that.
Some
And
of
I
us
could
may
do
start
that.
at, yeah, some of us may
So
start at
just
one
that
or
your
two
life
kilometers.
life becomes
Yeah,
limitless, because you just say, oh, can I do this as well? Can I do that as well? And then you don't
yeah.
stop.
Super. Well, I think we have just a few more minutes with you. Maybe a quick response, if you might, to a gentleman called Mahesh Babu from Tredence, who's asked, how does stress affect fitness for you? How do you deal with stress? Does it impact your fitness in any way?
So one of the main advantages of being fit is your ability to deal with stress. Like I said earlier, are you fit for a particular thing? If you're not fit for it, it is going to give you stress that you cannot deal with. So, for example, if you want to run a marathon, 42 kilometers, it is stressful. If you cannot deal with that stress, you will not run. You cannot complete. So, your ability to deal with stress is also a determination of how fit you are. Right?
Interesting.
So, how do you deal with stress? Now, what is stress? Stress is not bad. It's not bad at all. Stress is just stress. How you respond to stress decides whether stress is good or bad. How you respond will decide whether the stress is good or bad. Stress can help you to do amazing things, which means it can be good. Now, hunger is a stress, right? Thirst is a stress. If we didn't feel thirsty, we would not drink. But now, when you feel the stress of thirst, what is your response? Do you drink water or do you drink beer? If you drink water, your response to stress, the stress of thirst, is good. If you drink beer, not so good.
Got it.
So
Milind,
look at the stress and try to deal with that stress in a way that is going to make the situation better. That determines how fit you are.
yeah, sorry, interrupted you there. I was mindful of your time. We want to take the last minute for you to just, just announce a couple of folks who we picked as
Oh,
winners in a
yes.
Pazcare challenge. So
Oh,
inspired by Green Ride, we set out a challenge for all the employees who are using Pazcare, to do a few simple, small steps towards fitness, and a couple of folks were chosen as lucky winners. So if you could just read out their names, it would mean a lot. It
I
would
have their
motivate
names.
them.
Yes, I have their names. What did they do?
Milind, there were three challenges. So one around kind of showing a nutritious meal, one around showing some physical activity that's been done, one around showing flexibility that they've built through yoga or some similar practice. So all three of those challenges were completed by these folks.
Wow. Okay, so the winners are N. Vaibhav Kumar from Tridence Analytics Solutions Private Limited, and the second winner is Shobhit Ranjan from Data Axle Solutions Private Limited. Congratulations to Vaibhav and Shobhit.
Congratulations, folks. And I'm sure you'll be looking forward to meeting Milind when he's visiting us uh, next week on the 16th. And speaking of to all of the HR folks, CXOs on this call with us today, please make sure you sign up for the Pazcare HealthCon coming to Bangalore on the 16th. I think the details are going up on the screen right now. So please do sign up. We'd love to see you there. Milind, thank you so much for taking out your time today. Look forward to meeting you in Bangalore soon as you kick off Green Ride
Thank you. Thank you
14th
so much.
afternoon.